I wanted to continue on what we did a couple weeks ago where I was breaking down doing a headstand, and I figured why not go forward and try the crow, because that's another pose that I get a lot of questions about. And we got a special assistant here today. This is Sunshine. Anyway, the crow is less about strength and more about flexibility, to be quite honest. It's all about finding the perfect access point, finding that perfect place to balance. So it's more about flexibility and balance than strength. So in crow, for those that are familiar with it, you know it's a balancing pose. You want to start kind of with your feet, your heels touching like this, your knees slightly bent, turned outwards, so that you can be high up on your toes like this. You're going to work on getting your elbows and your triceps underneath your knees onto your shins. So you want to have your hands pretty close to your feet, okay? And then you want to make sure your elbows are not pointing out to the side like this. You want them inwards, okay? So that you can make a shelf out of your arms. Now you're lifting your hips. You start to lean onto your palms and then hug your knees towards each other, and then you can lift your feet off the floor. Now, you can't do this if your arms are straight. You want to keep them bent. So you're creating a shelf, okay? And then you want to hug your knees into your triceps. That's what's going to help you balance. So your arms are not out here. They're kind of inwards almost, okay? And your toes, your heels are lifted, again from this direction. Elbows bent. Bring your elbows against your shins, hands close to the feet, and then you can shift forward. Now, as soon as the toes leave the floor, lift them up and keep them together. Now, you gotta squeeze your inner knees towards each other and your elbows towards each other so that it doesn't collapse outwards. Okay, so that's the key. Hands and feet close together. And make a shelf out of your arms so that you can actually put your knees on your triceps. Now, for those that are familiar with side crow, it's a very similar process. You want to have your feet over to the side of the mat. Get both arms over to the outside, hands kind of wide apart. Start leaning onto the palms, and from here you can lift your feet. Keep the feet lifted. So the outer thigh is resting on the elbow. And then you can come out of it. You can switch sides. Elbow on the outside of the opposite leg. Hands kind of wide apart. Bend your elbows. Lean forward. This is very good for the back. When you breathe deeply here, you actually give yourself a chiropractic adjustment. And then you can come out of it. So the key, really in crow, the key is always the positioning of your hands and your feet. So they want to be close together. So again, high on your toes, elbows digging into the shins. You're going to use your triceps as a shelf. Lean forward, squeeze the big toes towards each other, squeeze the knees together, and then balance. Good luck.